All right, man. We're live. What's up?
Desert Bird Podcast, episode number 1. I'm with my guy. Well, I'm that way. Sorry, that way.
Now it's hard to figure out at first, right?
Right. Yo, it's your boy, King Kincaid. I'm with
JT.
Oh, yeah, he says all nonchalant, smooth. Brooklyn's in the house.
Yeah.
Brooklyn's in the house. No, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So this is Desert Bird Podcast number 1. It's the episode 1, the original. There will only ever be one. So, man, we've been talking about doing this for a long time. So it's called Desert Birds Podcast because we're out here in the desert. Both East Coasters, lifelong Eagles fans. And we've been, like I said, we've been messing around saying we were going to do this. And it's time. The Eagles keep making too many moves, though. Every time we say we're going to do one on something new comes up. So
I know they keep on putting stuff on
shout
my
out,
plate.
shout out Ryan Kerrigan, man. You finally got us to get on here. Yeah, man. Let's get into it, man. There's a lot going on. So don't forget to like, subscribe, leave some comments for us. Let us know what you think. We have 0 subscribers and likes and followers now. So hit us up, man. Be a day one. Support us from the beginning, and we'll keep putting out some good content, I hope. And if you don't like it, let us know too. That's cool.
Thanks. Follow us on Twitter, man. Follow us on Twitter. King Kincaid on Twitter. Yours is kind of long. What's yours?
I don't even remember, man. I'll put it in the link.
We'll put it in the bio.
Yeah. I don't even remember. I think I changed it, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I don't even remember off the top of my head.
You gotta shorten it up.
We'll put it in there. So we're already off to a great start here, man. Desert Birds, you know how we do it. So, man, let's just get into some quick. I mean, we were going to do this after the draft, then we got busy. So, what do you think about the draft, man? I thought this was an important draft for us. New coaching staff. I'd say more in the news now about, is there dysfunction in the Eagles? Has Lurie lost his mind? Is, Howie, just like awful, blah, 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 So I thought this was an important draft. What did you think?
This was important. This was Howie wheeling us Eagle fans right back in. First round was dope. Jump in front of the Giants, thanks to the Cowboys. Getting Dickerson in the second. Third was it Milton, the defensive
Milton Williams, yeah.
Milton, yeah. Fourth was getting McPherson.
Yep.
And then
Gainwell fifth.
I think we had a good draft. We started off strong, and then it went to building your franchise through the trenches. It's a smart move. Would I prefer that? No. Sometimes I would like to have a weapon here or there, or get some skilled players, especially DBs. Man, we need a DB.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, though, man, it was a great draft by Howie. He stuck to the draft board, and for him to say that was very important. And I was like, all right, cool. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, no, totally. I think going into this draft, that's what the number one thing I said. I felt like there was a possibility that this new staff was going to mesh well with the front office guys, and like striking Howie and Lurie, all this staff. I thought there was a chance. Every time you have a new coaching staff, you have a chance that sync is a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping, that. But the main thing, is like just don't do the, as Howie likes to say, get cute. Just don't do it. Just avoid it. Stick to the board. There was a lot of different directions. I thought that we were going to draft more cornerbacks. I even thought, we should go cornerback in the first. I thought J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain would be there at 12, but that obviously didn't happen. And I thought we'd probably draft 2 or 3 corners. I thought we'd go there early and often. But the board didn't fall that way, really. And when I look back at it, I like all the picks that we made. I thought we got a ton of value. And I know it's too early to give these draft grades and stuff because we really don't know for a long time. But, I think there's a reason why a lot of the analysts are giving us high draft marks. Dane Brugler, Daniel Jeremiah. I feel like by sticking to our board, we drafted a lot of high value guys. And thought Gainwell in the 5th was a steal. I thought even getting I'm not even going to mess with his name right now, Marlon Tuipulotu, I think, the defensive tackle out of USC. I mean, he was projected to be a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th rounder, and we got him in the 6th round. Jacoby Stevens, if he would have entered the draft a year ago, probably would have been a 1st or 2nd rounder. He drops down to the, do we get him in 6th or 7th? Either way, 6, I think. 6. I mean, he has got a chance to be a really good, interesting player for us if we use him the right way. So, all the way through, Jackson and why am I blanking also on the kid from Tulane? Patrick Johnson and Jackson and Johnson. The 2 defensive end lineman, linebacker hybrid maybe players. I just think, look, we don't know which ones are going to hit, but there's a lot of players there. And then getting a playmaker was so important for this team. And then Landon Dickerson and Milton Williams. I mean, look, if Dickerson can stay healthy, you're set at center or guard for years to come with a difference maker, and a culture setter. And then Milton Williams, he's a freak, man. Like, I mean, literally the tape is good. He's a freak. He could end up being he's got the potential to be a double-digit sack type guy. He's got, we can use him in different ways. I think the floor for him is probably being a guy like Vinny Curry, who's going to be a really good player. And if you can get a guy like that in the 3rd round, that's worth it. And then the ceiling's a lot higher. So, I mean, he's got the traits to be even more dominant than Vinny Curry ever was. So, hey, I thought it was a really good draft. So we're just have to see. I even like Zach McPherson. I think he's going to be an outside corner, but I don't know if he's going to be ready to start day 1.
Right.
So, but he's got some versatility, and I think getting him in the 4th was good value. So, yeah, I think we're on the same board. I think we think it's overall a good draft. We just were surprised that we didn't get more cornerback help.
Yeah. That was like the only thing I had an issue with the draft.
Yeah. I mean, I look back at the round by round, and I can't really always find a player I would have drafted over who we took. I think the board just fell weird, and I'm kind of surprised. Maybe we could have moved up. We could have used some of our draft equity to move around to reposition that board to get more corners, but it just didn't.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. Yeah. So let's move on. What do you think about
Kerrigan Johnson? Man, when I seen this notification go through my phone, I was excited. I was actually at Chipotle, waiting in line, trying to order a salad for my wife. Nice. And I looked down on my phone, and I'm like, "What?" Because early that evening, the morning. I already seen that he was waived by the Detroit Lions. So I was like, okay. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, if he can fall to the Eagles, man, that would be great because he can pass block. Like, he'd be 3rd down back. Boom. He's perfect. You put him, Miles Sanders. Hey, you got a little bit of light and thunder right there. But he's more, you know what, though? I wouldn't say probably a thunder. He's more of like a slasher and a blocker. He's mental, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that a little bit concerns me is his injuries. He had a lot of injuries in the last 2 years. But man, maybe this might be the different players that get cut and go to other places, man. Sometimes they 9 times out of 10 their career just brightens or it just works in that system. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or so I'm hoping that's one of those ones that he's one of those, needle out of a haystack, and he just has a bright career in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think I was kind of surprised. I don't watch a ton of Detroit games, but obviously, I know that he had injuries, right? He was a pretty high draft pick, 2nd rounder in 2018, and had a lot of success, which they hadn't had a track record for having in a long time in Detroit for a running back. So I remember when he was the first guy to get 100 yards in a long time, so stuff like that. So I know he had a really good start to his career. Good in protection. The injuries, the way I kind of look at it is, look, we're going to have, all of a sudden we have kind of a crowded room camp battle, and we'll have to see how it shakes out. But, look, you pick up a guy with the talent Kerrigan Johnson has. He could be, if he does show that he's healthy, you're looking at like a 1-2 punch, type guy that's probably going to knock somebody out of a position and upgrade the room. And look, the way the contract's structured, it's kind of an exciting pickup. So I hope he comes in and he's still got some left in the tank. He's only 23 years old. I was crazy. I was like, geez, that's
crazy,
insane.
right?
He's 23 years old. I think he'll be like 24 by the time the season starts. But I mean, he's young.
Hold on. So is he the same age as Miles Sanders?
Probably. I think he is. I think he's that same year.
Wow.
Because Miles had to stay all the way to the senior year because he, had to sit behind Saquon for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's like the same age.
Wow.
But he's got some injury wear tear. But look, it's a high upside pick. And then if he comes into camp and Jordan Howard comes in and beats him out, or whatever happens, like then at the end of the week, he's got one of the contracts you could waive. But I'm excited. I think he probably should make the team. I think that all of a sudden you got Miles Johnson, Gainwell. I think will make the team. I do. I think they're going to be high on him. And what he can do, what he offers out of the backfield, catching the ball, let alone, I think he's a kind of an upgraded version of Boston Scott. As much as I love Boston Scott, he's kind of a little bit bigger version, a little bit more powerful version of Boston Scott, and he's got real receiving skills out of the backfield. So I think Gainwell makes the team. And now the question is, do we keep 3? Do we keep 4?
I think so.
Who is that fourth back?
Who's your 4?
Kind of, in that scenario, it would come down to Howard or Boston Scott, I think, and I just think it depends on what you, if Jordan Howard has something left in the tank, if you get that short yardage back, that guy that you can bang,
a lot of dust,
I'd say go with him, because it's kind of like, I'd still try to put Boston Scott on the practice squad, and you never know if you have injuries and stuff. But yeah, I think what this really does though is makes it really hard for me to see a way that like Elijah Holyfield or Adrian Killins makes this team. I think that's looking less and less possible. I don't know if that was possible anyways, but hey man, I like it. I like the upside, and we'll go from there, see how it shakes out. But hey, I think Sirianni is serious about camp battle.
Competition, man.
Competition. And speaking of today, Ryan Kerrigan, the guy that brought us together to finally do a podcast. Man, Ryan Kerrigan is one of those guys. I normally hate our opponents. Like, I'm not a guy who really is like all that nice about our opponents. Like, I don't know. Ryan Kerrigan was one of those guys I hated to face. Like, I always was like, I was like, that guy is a good player, and he had a lot of production against us. But he was like a hard guy to hate, like whenever you would hear the mic'd up stuff, he's always like the first guy after the game to come up and just say like nice things to your team. You're just like, how do you hate this guy? He seems like a nice guy. So what do you think, man? I was pretty surprised that we made the pick. I didn't even know he was on our radar. I guess he visited us a couple days ago. I didn't even know.
I didn't even know. I thought he still on the Washington football team's roster.
I knew he was a free agent. I did. I saw his name out there, and I knew the Vikings were big on him. I knew the Steelers were big on him, he had visited those teams. I didn't know we were even in the mix for him. Yeah,
this signing gives me Chris Long vibes. This is what this signing does.
Me too.
You got depth. You got depth on the D line, and that rotating edge rush is this. And that NASCAR package is going to be nasty. Ryan Kerrigan has a motor the size of, a 500 F50. He don't give up. You know what I'm saying? And just to see the way how he handles left tackles. Like I remember that. I think it last year, bro. He was kicking Jason Peters' ass off the floor. He was a difference maker. I think he was a trendsetter for Washington. I think Washington made a big mistake not resigning him. And then he's going to have that extra. He's going to have that extra battery pack when we play Washington.
I think that's maybe why he came here. I wonder if that was a big reason.
Yeah,
to kind of show them a little bit. But obviously they put so many draft picks, and they had bumped him down, and he is getting at that. He's had almost 100 sacks in his career. I mean, he's been. But look, I've looked at the pressure rate he had last year. I mean, he's still really productive, and he's been really durable in his career.
Right.
From what I can recall, I mean, I can't remember him having any major injuries, and I mean, he just plays full on. He's going to be a good teammate. I think the younger guys make the team are gonna, he's gonna be one of those dudes. Like I expect the other guys on our line to take him under the wing, show him the ropes, and hey, man, another high reward. And there's an old saying in like scouting and team building in the NFL, you can't have enough edge rushers, man. Like you really just can't. And if you do have some injuries, we got another guy that you could step in with more snaps. Otherwise, he's going to be, like I said, that I think you hit it right on with that Chris Long type role where you bring him in as a third down rusher and just bring the heat.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, man. I like it. Ryan Kerrigan, man. Not sacking our quarterback and on our team going after other quarterbacks. I like it.
Facts. I wonder what number he's going to be.
I don't know. He's not going to be 91. We were talking about that this morning.
Fletch.
Obviously, Fletch not giving that up. It will be interesting to see what number he is. But
number 51?
I love it,
That'd
man.
Be dope. That'd be dope.
The other thing I think this signals is that you don't pick up a guy like this on a 1-year contract if you're trying to be bad. And I've always known that we weren't trying to be bad. Now, granted, we're in a situation where we got a lot of questions on our roster still, DBs especially. But I think this signals that the Eagles are more serious about 2021. And I also don't think we're done with our roster. So Howie's out there still making moves.
Fleecing. He's still fleecing.
I also like when a guy like this signs because, at this point of his career, he's looking for a fit. He's looking for maybe some revenge on the football team, maybe. I don't know where his mentality's at. But whenever these guys sign, that have some other options, I know for a fact Kerrigan had some other options. It's a good sign that, that our staff's doing a good job pitching guys and guys want to come play here still. So kind of goes against that narrative that we're such a dysfunctional mess and all that. So I like that.
Right.
So the schedule was released, man. What do you think about our schedule?
It's funny. So I got a lot of things. I took a lot of things from it. Yes, it is easy. I can see that. But then there's some daggers in there. I was like, dang, like the Chiefs, Tampa Bay, the Saints, even though without Drew Brees. They're the Niners. There's some teams out there that are respectfully like, okay, we're gonna be we're gonna be going against and seeing like, yo, what can we do? Shout out to my wife Jennifer. Yeah, shout out to my wife Jennifer. We're going to the game. Y'all holla at me. Y'all follow me on Get Down with the King on IG. I will be there for the 49ers and Eagles game. I am trying to get JT with me.
Trying to work on that.
Yeah, but he's trying to work on that. Hey man, we're two men. We're family men. It's not how it used to be when we just get up and go to games. I know, man. So
I'm trying to work on the wife on that one.
Yeah, but I think we're going to be okay. I really think we're going to be okay. Because number one, the NFC East is still not that great.
Right.
But when it comes to a complete team, I'll give up the edge a little bit to Dallas. Dallas has got it a little bit, but we don't know where their defense is going. Their defense was shit last year. Excuse my language, but it was crap. You know what I'm saying? So it can only go up. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know yet. The Giants, Washington's front seven is just nasty. So I give it to them on that part. But as of offensive line, I think we're the best as built in the trenches that we will be okay with our schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was probably going to have to say Washington has such a young defensive line, and I think Chase Young's really talented, but you could make an argument that we have as good a defensive line as they have. I don't know if we're a little bit aging, but if you're looking at in the division who has the best offensive and defensive line, like if you balance them together, I think there's no question that we have, because I think we have a much better offensive line. Washington has an okay offensive line. They don't have a lot of depth, though. I think the Cowboys have a decent offensive line, but they're getting aging. They're aging, but their defensive line's not very good. So, and then the Giants, to me, are the worst fit. In terms of their offensive lines. They have some young players that might improve, but they got Nate Solder was a holdout. You got to get him back. they might not be as bad as they were last year, but they have one of the worst offensive lines in my opinion last year. So they're not, and I don't think they have a great offensive line now, and I don't think their defensive line. Leonard Williams is a good player, but I don't think their defensive line's that great otherwise. So to me, they're the last place team, and then so I think this thing that was interesting to me about the schedule is and it's kind of a question. So this is the least amount of like primetime games that we've had in a long time. We only got 2. And it's interesting because it's like one, there's 2 possible things that as to why that happens. One, they think you're going to be really bad. Okay. There's a possibility they just think we're really bad. I think that there was a little bit of a, payback for the tank game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say, but it was interesting to only get 2 primetime games. Then again, it's a new team. And I remember last year, man, I think we're going to be a lot better this year than we were last year. But last year I was like, God, get us off primetime. Like, we are so bad right now. And I'm just so sick of hearing the commentators talk about the NFC East is so bad and it's historically bad. And let's put another graphic up about how bad this division is. I was like, God, just get us off here, man. But it's interesting. I think it's interesting. I do think it's also an interesting schedule. Like we have, a lot of tough games early on, in the first half of the season. Oh, also week 14 bye. That's pretty wild too. But
the late. Yeah. Oh man.
So we got, I'm not going to go game by game here, but we got basically in our first 6 weeks, we have to play San Francisco, Dallas at Dallas, which would be a tough one for us. I mean, we just got smoked by them last year. As much as I don't know if Dallas is that good, and I think we're better, but than we were. You got to give that a little bit of a tough game. Then we got to play Kansas City at home, Tampa Bay at home. At least we get those games at home. But it's a little bit of a tough schedule early on. Then we have a kind of a softer spot of the schedule. Then it's interesting. We finish with so many division games, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how it all shakes out. I mean, one thing I thought was kind of interesting is like after week 11, we don't have to get on a plane. Oh yeah, we don't have to get on a plane the rest of the year. Like we're a train ride to the Giants and Jets. We're at home. Then we go to Washington. We're a train ride or a bus ride down to Washington. And then we're at home against Dallas. Like we literally, that's pretty interesting. Right. So overall, I think schedule is kind of easy, but there are some little rough patches there. Yeah. And
what's very interesting though? I don't know if you've seen this, but I think it's week 17? No, week 15 against Washington football team to be determined. What is that?
That's a flex option where they could put us on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's kind of weird. I guess if we're in like a division race at that time, they can move us to a Saturday night game. So we could pick up another primetime game, I guess you could call it. And then
what's funny though?
Flex thing.
What's funny though? Like when I was, just to let y'all know, I don't pay attention to power rankings. Power rankings they're just silly to me.
They're dumb.
Yeah, because you can't base off a team in May. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Even during the season, you can't do power rankings, and you can lose any given Sunday, right? But when I see that we're like 26, 27, just the disrespect.
It feels disrespectful.
It's just disrespectful, and it's Philly.
They
do know we are underdogs, and we love being an underdog.
Yeah, so that's what I think.
You know what I mean?
I think it's like keep it coming. Give this team some fuel, man.
Mm-hmm.
Charge up our batteries, man. I'm ready.
Right.
We might throw some batteries at you, and then it's a little harder to play. It's interesting too, man. There's only one game that I go. I'll probably get killed by some people for this. There's only one team that I look at and I go, geez, if they're healthy, that's just a tough matchup, and that's the Chiefs, because they really are a tough matchup. The way that it's not just the personnel they have; it's the way they could stretch the field and do that with the speed they have, and our secondary looks like that would be tough.
Mm-hmm.
There's other games that are tough matchups, but we might not beat San Francisco, but we could beat San Francisco and Philly. I believe that. We might not beat them, but we can. I believe that.
I'm gonna
I believe we could beat Tampa Bay. I believe we could beat Tampa Bay. I know Tampa Bay just won it. They were an 11-5 team that had a lot of close games. They had a little bit of trouble with Washington in their first playoff game, and then they beat a battered Drew Brees, and then they won a squeaker against a good Green Bay team. But, just because they blew out the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, people are kind of thinking that they're just like this dominant team. They're not an unbeatable team by any means, and that's in Philly on a Thursday night on a short week. I'm not saying we're going to win those games, but those games could be a lot more winnable than people think. Unless Kansas City has some injuries or we get way better in our secondary, though, that's going to be a tough game for us. So
gotcha.
That's about the only game I think that just go bad. I don't know how you win that game, but the rest of them, they're not as unwinnable as a lot would think. So we'll see.
Gotcha.
Rookie mini camp started this week. What do you think? First off, just anything you we were talking about it earlier.
Devontae Smith.
People are surprised that Devontae Smith is skinny.
I
don't know how you can just be learning that.
I didn't understand that when everybody was like, "Oh man, he has a body of a 12-year-old." Like, come on, guys.
Do you see Sirianni's kind of interview where they kept kind of ripping up, like not ripping him, they kept trying to ask him over and over about Jalen Hurts, and you wouldn't really answer it. What do you think about Sirianni's press conference?
He's not a. It was normal. It was a normal press conference. It was normal.
I like Sirianni, man.
He's terrible at conference, bro. Like, he's terrible. But to go back on the rookie camp, what I seen though, did you see how smooth Devontae is in these routes and he's so smooth, bro. Like, and then you go have like, I guess that I'm just not spoiled to having like a wide receiver like him, besides like Alshon Jeffrey. But like he was so smooth. He was so smooth. I was just like, wow. And then everybody's giving a lot of praise to the what's the quarterback, the rookie quarterback we just drafted? Jamie Newman.
Undrafted.
They saying a lot of good things about him. So man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. But to get back on that press conference, I wasn't
really.
You can't just give up. You just can't give up. You can't. If you're going to spring competition, and just be like, oh yeah, we're going to go with Jalen Hurts. No, no. Yeah, just because he played 4 games. But if you keep on, he just played 4 games. No, he's in a new system. He's kind of like he's a new player. No, he needs to show.
How he said it really well on like a recent interview. He's like, look, I mean, we want Jalen to come out and take the job, but we're not giving it to him, and that's the message a new coach should have, and I'm glad they have it. And it doesn't mean much at this point. But these rookie mini camps, you can't really take much from them. Usually it's just interesting to see the guys get out there in pads. It's the first time with the coaching staff out there. And Devontae Smith, man, he ran like a speed out on one of the little clips. And I was just like, God, he's so smooth. Like his movement and his ability to get his feet in really quick, and just how effortlessly it was. Step, boom, feet in. You're just like, wow, yeah. But I expect him to be good. It's just it's good to finally see him in the uniform. You get a little sense of what it's going to look like, just a little bit. Even though he's got skinny legs in the shorts, people are making a big deal about it, as if like you didn't know that. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Some of our fans
I don't know if you've seen the meme. But they were making fun of him. Remember when the Captain America and he had that little boy body?
Yeah.
And that was kind of funny.
He does look kind of funny in shorts because his legs are so skinny. But man, I don't care, man. That guy could play.
Ready.
Yeah, man. That was the same thing we were kind of talking about. What do you think, man? Do you think this staff of this is kind of interesting because Sirianni has never called plays. First-time head coach, 39 years old. Steichen's called plays, actually. So our offensive coordinator called plays for a year and a half in L.A. with the Chargers. Jonathan Gannon, first time as a coordinator, was one of the hottest hires, though. In other words, he was in really high regard and being sought out by many teams. So it's not like we just picked a guy off the street like some random dude, but he hasn't called a defense yet. And then our special teams guy, he was an assistant special teams guy and with the 49ers. He actually went back with Chip Kelly, or he was here, and then he went to San Fran. He's been there ever since. Supposed to be a really sharp young guy.
Yeah.
What do you think, man? Is this staff going to be ready?
I like the way Sirianni addressed the media about his coaches. You know, he said that he's going to be on them. They're going to get sick of him about the fundamentals and just thinking about the process of football. I like that. You know, he's not going to overthink it. He's not going to do something stupid. You know, fundamentals, man. The fundamentals teach you a lot about sports. That's where it all comes from. That's where it starts from. So, you know, I think a lot of professionals, they seem to forget that. Sometimes they rely on their God gift athletic ability. But fundamentals is what started the game. So I'm very happy about that. And I'm very happy that he's telling his coaches, get 1% better every day. I love that. I love that line. You know what I'm saying? That's like my clothing line complete. Like, you got to get better every day, man. You got to get better every day. No stagnant. I don't like that. You know, if I'm stagnant, I start to get sick and I start to get worried. I want to get better every day. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I want to see when shit hits the fan. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see when the pressure hits and we're down by 3 and it's, you know, a minute and 15 and 20 seconds ago. And can you call a play? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. We had that in Doug, and then I don't know in the Super Bowl year, then I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I think Doug was a good play caller, but I think that the quality of what was on the sheet to call went down. You know, I think Mike Rowe was not as good as Frank Reich, but he was, and then it went way downhill last year when there was no offensive coordinator. So I am a big believer that a lot of what good play calling is putting in that detailed work to get prepared and having a really good plan going in. So you got your sheet set up, you know, right way. You got good options. You got good players. They know how to execute. You're going to look like a good offensive coordinator. You're going to look like a good play caller if it's successful. You know, you can call a great play. Guys don't know what the hell they're supposed to be doing. They're running the wrong route. Protection breaks down. Guys miss an assignment. You know, you can look like a bad play caller, but you know, as a coach, you're responsible for all of that, right? And that broke down under Doug.
And one thing to add to that, when you were talking to me about Nick Sirianni about giving players like a choice and like, hey, what's comfortable to you? What do you want to run? How we got to figure this out? What's going to be our bread and butter?
Yeah,
I was hearing him talk about he's going to talk to the wide receivers about, okay, if it makes Jalen feel comfortable, end your route right here, come back, or you know, whatever makes you feel comfortable with route running. I was like, I played football. My coach used to tell us all the time, and I was a skills player. My coach would be like, Coach Lott would be like, listen, if you think you can go one-on-one and take somebody the way you want to take somebody, Tim, do it. He used to always tell me that. And all right, cool, I got you, coach. I'll run it in, out, boom. All right, I'm out. You know what I mean? And so that tells me right there that he trusts his players along with the play calling. So I want to see that.
Yeah,
I want to see that. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Frank and Doug, you know, really seemed together. You know, I think when Frank was there, you just saw that there was a lot of collaboration with guys. You know, like, what do you feel comfortable with? You know, the guys would come in and say, we want to run the ball more. We want to pound on the guys a little bit more. We got to soften these guys up or whatever. I think Sirianni's got that same mentality that we had in 2017. Do we have as full, you know, a complement as personnel as we did in 2017? Maybe not yet, but you know, that mentality is coming back. That matchup mentality, that mentality of we're gonna focus on the little details and the play design. Because I mean, the difference between a guy, you know, running like a post route to 18 feet, taking the safety out of the play, and you know, just the littlest precision of like a few feet can make the difference between a guy being open and taking it to the house, or that thing being an incompletion or an interception. I mean, like, I'm just throwing a random thing out there. I didn't really think through it.
No. Well, that's what football is.
I sounded like Sirianni there, but I'm excited about it's football. So, you know, I'm going to knock over the microphone. Rock, paper, scissors, baby. But no, I love the mentality. And look, what I see from this coaching staff so far is that they're focusing on the things that they said that were going to be important. So I'm excited, man. We're going to have to see, though. There might be some bumps along the road. And what I hope is that if let's just say we go down to Atlanta, we drop that game. I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but we go down, we don't win that game. We come back against San Fran. They're supposed to be, really good. They're going to get a lot of guys back from injuries. Let's say we lose that game. Let's say we go to Dallas, and maybe even we play it close in a couple of these games where we lose it. Now we're 0-3. Well, then we come back against the Chiefs. Let's say we're 0-4. And I hope this doesn't happen. But then we go down to Carolina, we drop that, then we lose to the Buccaneers. We're 0-6. Like, how is this staff going to handle that?
Yeah.
I'm not predicting that's going to happen, that we drop all those games. I'm just saying.
Hey, feet to the fire. Feet to the fire. We'll see how it happens.
We'll see.
I personally think in the first 4 games, I think we're going to go 2-2.
That's what I'm expecting too.
That's just being realistically. But if you think of that outside looking in, and you look at that, you're like, oh, that's good. You know what I mean? But I think the Eagles are not. This is the thing. The Eagles are not a couple of players away to being contender. They're about a year and a half out of being contender. We need an outside corner.
Yeah.
We need another linebacker. Zach Ertz doesn't even want to come to camp, in which I understand his contract. He out it last year. He's gone. The thing is that I don't know if they want to make. I mean, what I've been hearing, what my source has been telling me is it looks like they like the whole situation with Jordan Hicks and Zach thing going on. But the Eagles are actually they like that. They like the option, but they're actually looking for an outside corner to trade for. But man, we're a couple players away, man. But I think if we get an outside corner, that right there would ensure you to be like, okay, whew, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it'd be hard to go in the season right now without another experienced outside corner.
Yeah,
because here's the thing.
So this is my 2 things. One more question. Would you rather take? So, would you go for a Richard Sherman?
Maybe, he's coming off an injury. So, I mean, you have to have him on one of those cheap 1-year deals, and you have to understand what you're getting. I mean, the one thing about Richard Sherman is I think sometimes as fans, we think of him as this loud, kind of crazy guy because of early in his career. But, man, people that are teammates with him loved him. And he's won everywhere he's gone. He's been part of winning teams, winning culture. He's a very smart guy. And I think, he would hate it. He hates being called a zone corner. I know that he hates that. That he doesn't travel, that he can only play zone. He can't play man-to-man.
He only plays on one side of the field.
But the bottom line is, if Gannon knew what he was doing with him, which I think he would know what to do with him, absolutely, I'd pick him up. Because here's the thing. I mean, you're going to be in sub packages a lot. We're looking at some of these matchups. We're going to be playing against teams that have Julio Jones, Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley. 49ers have a bunch of guys, a bunch of weapons. They got, obviously Kittle. Then they got backs out of the backfield that can catch the ball. They got, Dallas has got 3 wide receivers that are good. The Chiefs have 3. They'll spread you out and run you all over the field. I mean, you can have a lot of corners and find a way to put them out on the field. If you get big guys like Sherman who could tackle too. I just don't know what he's got left in the tank. I don't know if he's healthy or not.
Right.
You saw him play a lot because you watch a lot of 49ers games. I watched some, but what do you think?
He stays on one side of the field to me.
That's fine.
When I see him, he stays on one side of the field. So
but that's fine.
And then on top of that, when he's very, very smart. I've never seen somebody backpedal, and have their back towards the sideline. In his instincts, he still has.
Yeah.
His speed, he does not have speed anymore. But he's a sure tackler, and he's going to contest. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one thing that you gonna like
he doesn't get burnt deep that much, but I think he also knows where his coverage is. He knows where his safety help is. He's smart. He knows how to play. And I think he'll get some picks. I would go after him. I don't know if he wants to play out here. I heard he wants to stay on the West Coast.
West Coast.
Which makes sense. He's a West Coast guy, but hey man, if we could get him, but I mean, Steven Nelson's a guy. I don't know if he's holding out because he wants a ton of money, and maybe that's not going to be realistic for us.
He's been liking a lot of Eagle tweets.
I saw that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
that
hey
would
man,
be nice.
like,
That'd be nice.
Ultimately, yeah, he's a good player, and I think at this point he's probably the best. You know, I think he's like 28 years old. He's not super old.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd be the best bet of a free agent. Huh?
He wants to get paid.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, the thing is that he might end up having to find the market. If the market's not there, if the market was there early on, he would have signed. Look at what the Giants paid Dory Jackson, who has an injury history and is underperformed, but has talent. I have to give him credit, but I thought that contract was crazy. But Steven, he didn't get picked up, so maybe his expectations are a little unrealistic. Sometimes those guys eventually go, okay, I'm just going to do a 1-year prove-it deal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Philly for that, I mean, where else can you go where it's like pretty? I hate to say this, but if he came on this roster right now, it's pretty much like, okay, you are starting it.
Oh yeah,
you know, they could talk about competition all you want. He's going to start at one of the corner spots, so one of the outside corner spots. So you know, if you want to go someplace where you're not going to have a lot of camp battle, you're going to play. I don't know, maybe, but we'll see. Yeah, I have seen him liking a lot of stuff. I just I don't know, but hey, I also think we might make a trade though for someone we're not even talking about, some guy that no one's talking about, and you know, we'll see. So can the Birds compete? Let's wrap it up here real quick. Can they compete in the East in 2021?
In the NFC East?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I think you know, we're going to have to see. I think we're just talking about we're going to have to see if we can add a corner or two.
Be nice to add two. Be nice to add two.
But other than that, I think even right now today, I think when you're strong in your offensive defensive line, we don't know what Jalen's going to be, but man, I just think he's a competitor, and I think he's going to be set up a lot better this year to have success. Yeah. And you saw what he could do without a lot of structure and without a lot of weapons around him. Mm-hmm. Add a few pieces, add a much better offensive line, his ability to scramble, his ability to run, get a better complement of backs. I mean, we could have a really good offense. So, and then the defense has a good defensive line. You get a lot of pressure. That's going to help your secondary. So we'll have to see. I think we'll give our actual predictions later on once we see how our actual final roster gets.
For sure.
I think it's too early right now.
And everybody, comment below. Let us know how you feel about the Birds going into the 2020 season. Let us know. Talk to us. Talk to King Kincaid and JT, man. Let us know how you guys feel.
Sounds good.
We'd like to interact.
All right, man.
We out.
Wrap it up then. We'll hit it up soon. All right. Thanks, guys.